I'm jumping off, is this a needed suicide? I hope my parachute don't let me down. I hope I get to fly. I don't know why I feel like I gotta die to be alive. I don't know why it feel like people are standing still with no desire. I'm on a wire, wobbling back and forth, the balance clown. I won't be happy if I'm not moving forward, then send me down. My vibration for eternity will continue to come around. So I gotta do this right, I gotta live, I gotta.
What's going on, everybody? Lockoutmen back in the building with another one for you today. How you guys feeling out there? My name's Lockoutmen, and welcome to the Lockoutmen Podcast Show, the show where we just keep on trucking. That's what we do on this side of the street. Man. Oh, what is being disturbed? I'm supposed to have turned on my do not disturb right there. I'm telling everybody else to turn theirs on. Anyway, welcome to the Lockoutmen Podcast Show. Thank you very much. TJ Jones, the Bull, I see you in the building. I have a special guest that stepped up in the building, and he wants to talk about the trucking company that he drives for. But before we get into that, we're going to find out what he was doing beforehand. I would like to welcome to the show my man Kevin Britt. I hope I pronounced the last name Barrett. Barrett, right?
What is going on, Lockout Man?
Better known as the Cypress Truck Line YouTube guy. What's going on? There we go. What's going on with you?
What's going on, man? We just out here trucking today.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the community right quick, and let them know what let them know a little bit about you.
All right. My name is Kevin Barrett. I am a driver, a veteran driver here at Cypress Truck Lines. Like the man said, I am the Cypress Truck Line YouTube guy. I have my own channel where I do recruiting and I do a few other videos just to kind of get drivers familiar with the trucking industry. I've been in the industry for over 24 years now, and I consider it a way of life, not just a job. This is my life. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I started when I was 22 years old.
You say this is not a job. This is an adventure for you, huh?
That's right, man. It gets in your blood. I mean, you either do it or you don't do it. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So, I said I've been doing it since I was 22 years old. I went through the driving school like most of these guys do these days. And then I just went from there. I said before I was driving, I was just living paycheck to paycheck, just trying to make a living.
So before you was 22, right? Before you came into the game?
Yeah. But back then in the late 90s, you couldn't start before 22. You had to be 22 years old.
Well, now
it's like 21.
I think it's like 18.
Really?
Yeah, because I know the guy that I went to school with, one of the guys I went to school with, he was 18, but he couldn't drive intrastate, meaning that he couldn't drive state to state. So he would have to.
Okay, yeah. If you're in, he would have to. Okay.
Yeah, he would have to find something local, in order to drive. But yeah, 18 is the lowest that I've seen so far. But you say back then 22 was the cutoff.
22 was the magic number. I mean, I don't know. Maybe back then we could drive in state, but to get into a trucking school, you had to be 22 was the minimum age.
So you decided to go to school. Why you decided to go to school instead of just going to a trucking company and signing their obligation, 12-month, 10-month obligation?
Well, back from the research that I did, because back in the late 90s, I feel like an old man saying that, but You know, we
Yeah,
didn't
we
have
getting
the
there.
internet and YouTube and all that we have today. It was all, I was at a Walmart shopping center, and there was a flyer on a board. It said, the the if you wanted to, the roads were paved in gold. If you wanted to live free and live a carefree life, you know, go get your CDL. That's the gold card to the world. So
Mm.
that's what I did. And I figured,
All
shoot,
right.
I'd make all kinds of money that way.
How much out of pocket did that set you back?
Back then it was $3,000
All right, for how many weeks?
for it was a 3 week course, so basically $1,000 a week.
Hey, let me ask you this: in your opinion, man, do you think trucking schools charge too damn much for in my opinion,
I think they do. Personally, I think
for the minimum amount of training that they do?
like I said, with my experience, because I kind of work both sides of the coin. Um, I say that really the schools don't teach you anything. The schools teach you to get your CDL.
That's about it.
Your learning starts as soon as you get in that truck with your trainer. Basically,
Well, back then, you still remember the first trucking job you got?
yeah, it was a some small company out of Indiana,
How was
and it
how
was
was
what
how was the training when you got
the
one?
training was. It was kind of horrible. I mean, it was the trainer would say, "Okay, you do this, this, and this," and then he'd climb in the bunk, and that'd be the last I seen of him. So, you know, he said, "Okay, you're going that way. Point the truck that way, and wake me up when we get there." Basically, so it's kind of figure it out on your own type deal.
Damn it, man! How how long you was with that guy?
Uh, God, I mean, back then it felt like forever, but I started the first week of December in '97, and I went through the Christmas holiday, through the New Year holiday, so it was about mid-January. So I'd say probably about at least 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, we're talking 20 some odd years ago. It's hard to remember exactly what I did, but I remember it felt like forever because we
All
had the
right,
holidays in there.
all right. I'm checking my
Get some light on the
stream.
situation. It's getting dark.
I'm checking
There
my
we go.
stream. I'm checking my stream right quick. Give me a second. I want to make sure that we're coming in good. I'm checking
There
my
we go.
stream. Okay. I'm checking my stream right quick. All right. Yeah, there we go. We're coming in. We're coming in good. I just want to make sure that we're coming in good. Um, so Kevin, man, where do you call home these days?
Where do I call home besides my truck? Uh, I actually live in Largo, Florida, which is down there near Tampa,
All right.
basically on the beaches.
So you're a flatbed. Cypress is a flatbed company. So
Yes,
you're a flatbed driver, right?
yes, sir.
So being that you live in Florida, you don't have no issues with loads coming out of Florida, right? As far as being flatbed.
Well, being a company driver, we have basically we have a couple. We do a lot of drywall, so we got a lot of drywall plants there in Florida that actually ship out. So getting out of Florida is not a problem for us.
Oh, okay, okay. Have you been doing flatbed all your career, or have you did other divisions?
It's I've done flatbed for a majority of it. I started out doing van trailer, and then I did a dump truck for a little bit, and then I got into some little bit of heavy haul right at the beginning of my career,
All
and then
right.
I just fell in with Cypress.
All right. All together, you was with Cypress for it says here for like 12 years, right?
Yeah, yeah, I've been with Cypress for at least half my career.
Okay, okay. How long have you been in? How well you say half your career? So back in the '90s. So we're what 20? 20 plus years deep?
How long have I been doing it?
Yeah.
24 years in total.
24 years, man. In your 24 years in driving, what is some of the craziest shit that you have seen out here?
Oh, there's just this. I mean, it's been all kinds of stuff. I mean, I did a lot of local at the beginning of my career, so it's a lot of local stuff. I mean, really, the stuff that I've seen has been here with Cypress because I've been pretty much everywhere with Cypress. But I mean, it's just every day you see something that you just can't believe.
You see something different. What about the changes that you've seen in the trucking
Oh, the
industry
changes
since
in
you've been in it?
the industry?
Yeah, since
Oh,
you've
I
been
mean,
trucking for the last
the
20.
the, the truck itself is completely changed. And then, like I said earlier in the show, I mean, back when I started, we didn't have internet, we didn't have electronic logs. Actually, Warner Truck Lines is the demon here that started this e-log stuff on us drivers because it was all paper log and road atlases, which I actually have a paper atlas here in my truck, which a lot of drivers don't even carry these days.
Yeah, I got one. I mean,
So,
I'm going to be honest. I don't use it as much as I should, but I do use it when I get into a predicament or something like that.
so yeah, I mean
Not
the technology, the computers in the truck. I mean the truck that I drive here at Cypress. I mean it's got cameras, it's got sensors. It'll stop, it'll start. This damn thing almost drives itself. It's an
so this
automatic truck.
so you tested out in the manual, so
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
how
I
to
mean
drive a manual too.
I first started out in a 10 speed. I actually learned on what they call us. I don't know if you're familiar with the Super 10 transmission
Is that the
in the
one
truck.
with the two sticks?
No, the Super 10 was back in the late 90s was a new technology. They called it was half automatic and half standard. You would you would shift out. You start out in like second or third gear, and then you'd flip a switch instead of the high and low range on the shifter.
Mm-hmm.
Flip a switch on the side and just let off the accelerator, and it would shift that gear. And then the next gear, you would clutch and then shift the shifter, and then switch the switch back. It was real confusing, but that was the new fancy transmission when I first started.
Give me a second. Okay, my my key light decided to act up on me, so I had to exit that because the flickering is messing with me bad. All right, so you said so that was a Super 10.
Yeah,
I'm,
Super
I'm
10. Yeah.
I'm not, man. It was. I mean, there's so many shifters that I have seen since I've been in this industry, man. It's crazy. I seen one video of this guy just shifting like 4 or 5 sticks at a time,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
so
bro,
the
how is
dual,
you driving? Like, what the hell, man?
yeah, the dual stick transmissions where you had to stick your hand through the steering wheel and move one shifter and then shift the other shifter. Yeah, I've never had the pleasure of driving one of those.
Man, I don't think, even though I know how to drive, even though I know how to drive a manual, I think I would be a little bit scared to drive one of those because I wouldn't.
I mean,
I could, I could. Maybe if I had to, well, if I was trained in it, then yeah, that would be different. But to actually jump in that motherfucker and try to drive it myself, no, that's not gonna work. 20 years in the game, man. What's a typical day for you?
say what?
What's a typical day for you?
A typical day? Any day that's typical is better than today. But I get up early and then just hit the road. Either I deliver in the morning or I'll deliver in the afternoon. Then try to find a place to shut down, find parking.
All right.
So,
So Kevin, man, you reached out to me because you did you see the make the call that I made to Cypress?
yeah, yep.
You reached out to me when I did that video, and I think that was that you that I put in the intro?
No,
I think
no,
okay.
you grabbed a couple clips from a couple guys that have videos out there that are some of our newer drivers with the company.
Okay. I know I did an intro clip
Yeah,
with with
which
somebody.
that's
I thought it was
what.
you, but I did come across your video when I did type in Cypress.
Yeah, I was gonna say I couldn't believe because I seen the intro. You had a couple of the other guys that had shorter videos. I was like, how could you not put Cypress into the search line and my ugly mug not show up on your screen? I mean, come on, man.
Uh
I've got I've got a I'm going on 3 years with that channel. I got videos all over the place out there.
12 years with Cypress, man.
Yeah.
Let tell the people what you want them to know about Cypress.
What I want them to know about Cypress,
Yeah.
basically, I mean, every an experienced driver is going to be set in their ways, and they know what they want. Cypress is a really good company for the new driver. Like you found out through your interview with the recruiter that we actually have
Hmm.
our own school now. So I mean,
Okay.
it's a great company to start out fresh as a new driver.
Now, in that in the call video, would he was the recruiter on point with some of the answers to the questions that I asked him?
She was on, yeah, she was on point on some of them, and then some of them she was kind of off. Um, I said, if you have ever caught one of my recruiting videos for Cypress, I go into a lot more detail than what she did. But
So as far as a driver deciding to come on with Cypress, what's the orientation like?
orientation is orientation is they've kind of changed it up because of all this COVID BS going on these days. It's from what I understand, because I haven't actually gone through the orientation process. I've
Mhm.
kind of heard bits and pieces of it. It starts out as like a Zoom meeting type thing for the first couple of days, and then like on Thursday they bring you in, they road test you, they go over a little bit of securement training with you and explain how to fold the tarps and stuff like that. So
Now,
orientations, it used to be a week long, and now it's like a couple days. You got to watch a whole bunch of company videos and safety videos to get started. So the orientation process, it's basically a week long, but it's kind of mind numbing, like pretty much
so
anywhere you go.
so with Cypress, you have to already have flatbed experience.
No, we'll take a guy that has van experience, or we'll take if you go to Roadmaster or any other trucking school, we'll hire you right out of school as long as you pass the class and got your CDL and you're not under contract with another company.
All right. So with Cypress, of course, you said COVID changed everything, which yeah, it changed the way of life, changed the way of living. Hell, it changed me literally. I came down with it early, about a month and a half ago. Um, Gave me pneumonia. I was in the hospital for about 3 weeks. It's crazy, but from a company standpoint, with everything changed around, um, they will the class the train the guys for securement is it on a one-on-one, or is it like a little small class? What is it? What we're looking at when we're coming into securement training?
The securement training
Yeah.
is the securement training is basically how to tie the loads down, using the straps. And basically, they'll use whatever load's sitting in the yard there, They'll say, okay, they'll show you where to put the straps, what to use. Like if you're hauling drywall or picking up a load of drywall, you got to put corner protectors on the underneath the strap so you don't tear up the product. You got to bungee the tarps down so that the tarp don't flap going down the road. It's kind of a like a because you learn all that while you're in training. So they just
Right.
tried to give you like a heads up before you get in with your trainer so that you're not completely lost.
Okay. Okay. What's the size there? You know, is it like 1-on-1 or two? 2-on-1 or like I said again with COVID, uh, you know, changed everything up. I'm assuming back then when you started with them, they must have had like a large class, but now
What's
with
the size? What?
what's the size of the guys in there that's with the trainer to secure the train for securement? Is it like 1-on-1?
The class size?
Yeah, yeah.
It basically depends on how many people are in orientation that week. Usually, from what I could tell when I'm in the yard, we might have upwards of 6 to 8 guys maybe per class. And then
All
that
right.
depends on how many guys that are actually in the CTC school. Those, I mean, I've seen up to 15 guys in the CTC school. So if all of those guys in 4 weeks get their CDL, that orientation class 5 weeks from now is going to have 15 guys in it.
Okay, okay.
So
Michael Jackson, I see you in the building. What's going on? If you guys have any questions for Kevin, man, go ahead and put your questions in the chat, and I'll relay it over to Kevin the answer for you guys. Kevin, man, you said you've been you've been with Cypress for 12 years. For you to be rocking with them for that long, man, they must be treating you well. When you started, and I don't want to get into your money or nothing like that, but when you started back then, what did you come in at, and you can
in it,
ballpark where you at now?
the pay rate when I started with Cypress,
Yes.
I started at Cypress at what did I start at? 36 loaded, 36 cents a mile loaded, and 34 cents empty.
What was the TARP pay?
And the TARP pay was they were only paying was the TARP pay was like $20 to TARP and live load.
Okay, okay. So 12 years deep, where you at now? Did they cap you, or you still,
They
you
put a
still?
cap on us. They put a cap on us a couple years ago, and then they lifted the cap. And now I'm up to because I run OTR for them now. Because we're mainly a Southeast company, but
Mhm.
seeing that I run OTR, so I don't go home every weekend, I'm now at 57 cents loaded and empty.
Okay,
And our TARP
okay,
pay got raised to $30 TARP to TARP and to live loads. It's 15 and 15.
okay, okay. So what do you know? What is it for a new driver that's coming in?
I believe because they change that on a weekly basis seems like, but I believe right now they're starting at 43 loaded and 43 empty, and then after your probationary period, they review your performance, and then they'll raise your loaded miles up. I think up to anywhere up to about 3 cents. So you could go up to like 46, 43
Okay, that's
after about 3 months in.
all right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Now there's other companies like Maverick, AFC, um, Melton. What sets Cypress apart from them?
A dedicated Cypress driver, I haven't really worked or talked to any of those other companies. So what would set us apart, I don't know. All I know is from my experience with Cypress. I mean, if you talk to most Cypress drivers that have been here any length of time, they pretty much all say the same thing, that they know you by your name, not by your truck number. They treat you as a member of the team and not just a truck number out here. You know, they really focus in getting to know you, getting to know your needs, and try to route you the way you want to be routed. So if you want to go home every weekend, they'll do their hardest to try to get you home every weekend. Or you could be like me and stay out a month at a time, and they'll take really good care of you at that point.
All right, all right. So 12 years with him. Out of that 12 years, you trained for him for 8.
Eight,
How
yeah.
was how what was your experience training some of the new guys there? Get start off with the difficult ones.
The difficult ones.
Yeah,
Well, when like I said, being a trainer of 8 years, when we're in the process now of converting completely to automatic trucks because that's just the wave of the future. When I first started training, we didn't have any automatic trucks. Everything was 10 speed. And the most annoying thing to do as a trainer is try to teach somebody how to shift a truck. It's just, it is a pain in the ass.
yes, yes, it is. I couldn't agree with you more. It is a pain in the ass uh, trying to train a person that never driven a manual. Now, me, it wasn't as bad because they trained me in school, but I mean, I driven like box trucks that had manual transmission, uh, cars that had manual transmissions, and then when I got into the semi, all that stuff was thrown out of the window. It was thrown out of the window. Ego 0117. What's going on? We're talking with Kevin Barrett. I'm pronouncing your name right, right?
Barrett, yeah, Barritt.
Barrett.
Yep.
Cypress Truck Line YouTube guy from YouTube. Uh there he says there are now are there, wait, are you asking if are you asking if there's no more manuals anymore?
There,
There's still some manuals out here. There's still some companies like the company I drive for. We still have manuals. All our Western Star trucks are manuals. All our Macs are automatics. So it's easy to find people for the automatics, but it's kind of hard to find people for the manuals though. Would Let me ask
yeah,
you this, Kevin? Would you agree with that? Even if your company is switching over to automatics, but is it still hard to find drivers to drive the manual trucks?
yeah. I mean, it's because I mean, even in the four wheeler world, you know, I mean, now it's everything's automatic. If you want a 6 speed or 7 speed transmission automobile, that's a special order, and that's the way the trucks are going to now. I mean, it's almost hard to. I mean, most of your dealerships, Peterbilt, Freightliner, Volvo, they're all pushing automatic to these companies. So
Crazy, right?
yeah,
All right. Out of the 8 years, that would be your difficult. What was some of your easier ones that came through? And
the
are and,
easier
and
guys are just
are they
are
still
guys
with the
that
company today?
most. I got quite a few guys here that are still work for us, but it's it's a hard industry to keep anybody working anywhere. You know, it's just
Right.
this is just a hard life. But some of the easiest guys that I think I've ever had were guys that really came in and wanted to learn and really wanted to do this job. I mean, and they understood what they were getting into, because a lot of times these guys will come out of school and they'll have an idea of what they're getting into, and then their wife will kind of flip on them and say, "Hey, I wasn't expecting this. You either come home or we're done. Type situation.
All
So
right.
it's kind of hard to keep guys, because it's just when they get out here, and then if I train a guy, because I stay out so long, they get used to doing it the way I do it, and then they get on there and they get on the southeast where they're going home every weekend, and they've actually got to push harder and work harder. It's like, oh man, this is more than I thought it was going to be, and then they turn around and leave. So
Yeah,
it's just
this is something that you gotta. This is something. It's they say it's not for the faint of heart, and it's not an easy. It's not an easy job
yeah.
to do. I mean,
I got one of my videos I did with a buddy of mine, and he opened up by saying, because we are a flatbed company, he says, flatbed's not for sissies.
no, that's why I said you can keep flatbed. I no flatbed to me is a young man's game, but I seen and talked to a couple of old schoolers, that's in their 50s and 60s, still throwing them straps like they 20 years old, bro.
Yep.
So
I said
yeah,
I'm getting into my late 40s, and I'm 20 years into flatbedding, and it's taking its toll on me, but I'm still out here every day, yanking tarps, rolling tarps, and throwing straps. So
what? All right, so I 12 years. I'm sure you gotten good with it, but what's the average for when a new guy get out here to throw straps and tarps and all like that? How long? What's the duration? How long is it? Is I guess you can do it in 15 minutes. What
that's
would be?
usually about a half hour, unless it's like today where it was like 110 degrees out here in Texas. Uh, Usually I tell guys, if they can knock it out within 45 minutes to an hour starting out, you're doing great. If you're taking 2 hours plus to do it, you might as well find something else to do, because you just ain't got it in you to do it.
So you
It's not for everybody. I mean, it is rough work.
all right. You've been with Cypress for 12 years. Do they hire owner operators?
No, we have no owner operators in our company. It's all strictly company drivers.
All right, so this is you're a W. What are you, a W2 or 1099?
Just W-2 straight across.
All right, TBE trucking. What's up with it, bro? How you feel? Uh, I'm just gonna say the number, bro. 0117 says, "Are you from Houston, Texas, Kevin?"
No, I'm from Florida.
All right, and he came back 0117 came back and said, "Sorry, flatbed ain't for me." Yeah, you got it.
I've trained guys that I had a guy that got on my truck, tried to get into flatbed. He was probably in his late 50s, early 60s. The man couldn't lift the tarp up past his boot.
Damn it, man! It was that heavy.
Yeah, I mean, a single tarp, once it's rolled up and ready to go, it's probably about 120 pounds deadlift.
David, what's going on from Jacksonville? Welcome to the show, man. Excuse me. All right, so you decided to change up from regional to doing OTR. Do you personally have or do you have a family, or are your kids grown, or why would you?
I have 3 daughters, and I'm married. 2 of my daughters are already grown, out of school, and got kids of their own. I got a 14-year-old at the house.
All right, so you being married, how is she taking it that you stay out for a long period of time?
I tell everybody that I can that I've got the greatest woman in the world because she backs me 110% and she supports me. But she likes to tell everybody she spends my money better than I do.
How
So,
and so so for new drivers that's coming up to Cypress, how would they get up there? And please don't tell me Greyhound.
do what?
I
How
said
do
for
they get to
Cypress,
Jacksonville?
yeah. How would they get the new drivers to come up there, or the potential drivers to come up for orientation?
It's the you'd have to call recruiting because it's pretty much on a each individual basis thing. Sometimes it is Greyhound. Sometimes they'll rent you a car.
Nah, we can't do
I've
Greyhound.
heard of them getting plane tickets. I mean, it's
Plane tickets, rental car.
they're all over the place. I mean, it I mean it's hard to say because when I first started here 12 years ago, I had two options. I could run my own personal vehicle because I lived in Tampa, so it was only a 3.5 hour drive, or they put me on a Greyhound bus. When I first started truck driving, they put me on a Greyhound bus from Florida to Indiana, and that was just horrible.
Yeah, that ride. 12 years ago, you what made you get into flatbed work?
That
You
just
said you
it just at first I didn't want to do it when I first got my CDL, but then I started working when I was doing a little bit of heavy haul and stuff like that, and then I just got in with Cypress, and it just seemed like I wanted to do something other than just point the truck down the road and stare down the side of a trailer. You know, I wanted to have to do something, and
now
it stuck, and I ended up liking it.
back then when you came into orientation, did they give you a sign-on bonus or anything like that? And
Nope.
do they do sign-on bonuses now?
The From what I understand, their sign-on bonus, I don't know what the exact rate is, but the sign-on bonus is for experienced flatbed drivers only. So a guy coming into us with van experience doesn't qualify for it. Why they got it set up that way, I don't know.
Okay. Back then, again, 12 years in the game and all like that with Cypress Truck Line. Has there been any other companies or any other flatbed companies that tried to coerce you to come with them?
Uh, I, there was a few times early in my career with Cypress that I was actually trying to test the waters and see what was out there, and every time they would call Cypress to say, "Hey, does this guy work for you? What kind of driver is he?" I'd get a phone call from one of the owners of the company, and they would basically, lay out the red carpet for me. What can we do to make you happy? What can we do to make you stay? And it just got to the point where when I do get recruiting calls, I just send them to voicemail and ignore them because Cypress just takes that much good care of me.
Okay. Out of your complete 20 years that you've been driving, man, have you had any accidents? How's your driving record?
Now my driving record's pretty clean. If a driver ever tells you they've never had an accident or they've never hit anything, they're
They
lying to you.
lying.
They are
They
lying to you
lying.
to your face because I've been out here 24 years. I've taken out fence posts. I've taken down stop signs. I've backed into a truck at a truck stop before. I mean, it's happened.
Of course, man. You know, when you first started driving, though, when you first started driving and you seen your first accident on the highway, did you get freaked out over that, or did that just make you stronger and just
Uh,
made you more of a I guess a more of a safety prone driver?
it it's it was kind of an eye opener. Yeah. First, I think one of the first trucks accidents I ever saw was a truck laying on its side up in the woods, and then it just got to the point now where it's like you see it now, and it's like, oh, there's another one. But what really opened up my eyes was when I was a rookie driver back. when I first started, I was trying to get to a truck stop in an unfamiliar area, and I got off the wrong exit because the sign was misleading, and I thought that was the exit to the truck stop. So it was pitch black out in the middle of, I don't know, I don't even remember where I was, but there was nothing around. And I seen this driveway, so I said, okay, I'm going to pull my truck up in there and kind of do like a 3-point turn out of the driveway and get over to the truck stop. Well, as soon as the tires left the pavement, I sunk the truck into about 4 or 5 inches of mud and got stuck. And that was it. I had to call the company and get towed out and everything else. And that was just, I almost threw my hands up at that point and said, this ain't worth it.
Wow.
Just, it was a learning experience. And now I tell guys, if you get into a situation, don't just go barreling your truck in somewhere. Get out, survey the area if you got to.
That's what I always
call
say.
law enforcement to help you get out of the situation, or whatever you got to do. Don't just go and get your truck stuck.
That's what I always say. Survey your area, survey your situation before you do anything, or if you get into a precarious situation, or for any backup situations, always
Get
get
out
out
and
the
look.
truck and
Yep.
and survey your area, man. Cypress truck line, man. Back to them. Do they require any endorsements to drive for them?
No, we don't. We don't haul any tank. We don't have any tankers, and we don't haul any hazardous material. So no,
All
you don't have to
right,
have any endorsements.
all right.
They do.
So
They do kind of encourage you to get a, what is it called, a TWIC card. I don't know if you're familiar with what a TWIC is,
yeah, yeah.
but
Ain't
I mean
ain't ain't you
they don't require it, but we do sometimes go on ports.
yeah. That's what I was about to ask. It's ID to get on the ports and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
A
yeah,
tweet card.
yeah. That's not required, but I mean they will be happy if you have one. I don't personally. I had one and I let it expire because I didn't do enough of the port work to worry about it.
Now, I'm not sure if you familiar with Maverick, but at one point they did have a reefer. Uh, they had a reefer division before they sold it off. Have Cypress, this down the line that you've been there? Have you heard any ramblings about them getting other divisions, or they just gonna just stay strictly flatbed?
Well, we have 2 other divisions within our company. We do have a very small van fleet, and we do have a dump fleet, basically
Okay.
around our local areas of Jacksonville and Tampa.
Okay. Now, would that be a choice that we will have if we want to, to drive for those particular divisions,
The,
or
the van division, they kind of say for like the older drivers that can't really do the flatbed anymore. So a lot of our van guys are guys that have been here for a long time, and they basically can't do the tarping anymore. But the end dump, if there's a position open, either in Jacksonville or in Tampa, yeah, you're more than welcome to apply for that position. I think
okay,
though, I think the dump division is experience only though. You have to have previous dump truck experience to get in on that.
how now, this the summertime now, so how much tarping that you guys do in the summertime versus what you guys do in the wintertime?
The thing about our tarping is most of our loads are pre what we call pre tarp. So you'll go to like a drywall plant, and you'll have a preloaded and pre-tarp trailer. All you got to do is throw the straps and put the bungees on it. Where the work comes in is when you deliver the load. We don't have in the flatbed industry, we don't have lumpers because the van industry. You pull up to a dock and they got guys standing around. Hey, I'll pay you this and you unload my trailer for me.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that. We don't have tarp pullers or anything. You know, we got to be out there pulling the tarps. So, and that's year round. That doesn't change.
Okay, Dre the trucker, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show. Wow. On average, what's, and I think I asked the recorder that question as well. But on average, man, what's at the end of the year? What do you think? What do you think? You guys actually touch six figures there as a company driver or close to it?
Figures as in what you could make.
Yeah, six figures. Like do you
Most,
guys
I would
like
say, most of
90?
our drivers are making anywhere from. If you're a southeast driver, you can make anywhere from 65 to maybe 80,000 a year. In the position like I run, I mean, personally, I make over 100 grand a year working here
All right, that's what's up. As a company driver,
as a company driver. Yes, sir.
have you ever thought about have you ever thought about going lease or going to getting your own truck and authority?
When I was younger, I thought about it. Then as I got older and watched how the industry was going with all the regulation and the cost of insurance and now with the cost of fuel going through the roof again, that's nothing that I would be interested in now.
Wow.
Because I like the fact that, as a matter of fact, this truck is a perfect example. About 9 months ago, this truck got struck by lightning and it fried the complete computer system in this truck. And then they took the Peterbilt, had it for 6 months. It took them 6 months to straighten it out, and it's still not quite right. And if I had to pay that out of pocket, I'd have had to buy a new truck at that point.
Wow. So the equipment that you guys is rocking out in are Peterbilts.
We got the Peterbilt Freightliner. I prefer Peterbilt, and I had a couple Freightliners in the company, and I didn't care for that truck. But yeah, we got Peterbilts and Freightliners. We got some Internationals.
Now you did mention in earlier in the segment, you did mention that you got the bells and whistles and you also got the cameras and all like that. So they got driver facing cameras in their trucks. And
Yep,
how do you feel?
We have 4 cameras. We got the inward facing, the outward facing, and we got 2 side cameras, which is the 360 view.
All right, that's awesome right there. But how do you feel about the camera inside the truck?
It don't bother me because the way I see it is, it's their truck. If they want to see what's going on when this truck's in motion, I don't have a problem with it. And they don't care at night, because if the truck sits more than 30 minutes, the camera goes into sleep mode. I have to turn the key to turn the camera back on. But if I still feel uncomfortable with it, they don't care if I cover it up at night, because they don't want to look inside the truck any more than we want them looking inside the truck when we're on our time. So, but as far as going down the road and it looking at me, I don't have a problem with it, because if I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing, then they're more than welcome to see it, And then on the flip side of that coin, I know a lot of guys say, oh, I don't want them watching me. I don't want them watching me. But if something were to happen while you're driving, God forbid you have an accident or something, and first thing the lawyer's going to do is say, okay, we see the camera that saw what happened. What was the driver doing during the accident or before the accident? Was he on his phone? Was he fiddling with something in the truck? I mean, they can pull your phone records and find that out. But if you got the camera in there saying, yeah, I was, I had both hands on the wheel, I was paying attention to everything, and the situation happened, it happened. So it's kind of a, a good versus evil type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, man, that's crazy right there, man. That's crazy right there.
I know you don't hear much people defending the inward facing cameras, do you?
Yeah, not too many of them. To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of it either. But I agree with you 100% that of course it's their truck, and of course they want to see if you do get in an accident, they do want to see what you was doing at the time. So and plus insurance is is pushing them
Oh
to
yeah.
get
I
the
mean,
cameras anyway.
not to lie, I'm sure the company's getting an insurance kickback for having it in there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Um, Kevin, man, you've been in the game for 24 years, man. What is some of the worst companies that you driven for, or what do you think some of the worst companies that you driven
Uh,
for?
as I said, I've been in it for 24 years, and I think I've had maybe 4 jobs in that time.
Wow, 20. I talked to some people that been in the damn game for 6 months and they already up to like 10.
Yep. Nope. I've had to off the top of my head, I can think of 4 jobs I've had since 1997, and
Wow.
two of them. I mean, Cypress being the longest because I've been here 12 years, and then I was working for a local company out of Tampa doing what they call rigging work, which we
Mm-hmm.
hauled heavy machinery and we installed like MRIs in the hospitals and stuff. I was with them for 8 years. So, I get with a company, I tend to stick with them as long as they
Okay,
treat me good.
that's loyalty right there, man. Let's
Yep.
uh let's hold on right quick. Let me remove. Whoops. No, let me remove that. Let me do that. Before we get up out of here, man, let's talk about what's it right here? Let's see. Whoop. All right. Whoop, wrong one. Hold on. I brought me up. God damn it, man. Wrong one. hold on. Let me remove that. Uh stop that. All right. Whoop, wrong one. Hold on. I brought me up. God hold damn it, man. Wrong one. There we go. All right. Let me see if I can bring up the right one. Hold on. Let's see. Uh 22. All right. There we go. All right. We brought up the right one. Um YouTube, man. You this is your third year with your YouTube page. Let me make sure I subscribe to you. Get that
Yep.
done.
There it is,
Uh
new
this,
subscriber.
this is your third year doing YouTube. What made you go into YouTube?
Uh, Being the manager of the recruiting department, the guy's name is Clay Hamlin.
Mm-hmm.
We were working hand in hand with a truck driving school before we started our own school
Mm-hmm.
down in Punta Gorda, Florida, and they had video segments where Clay would kind of try to get drivers into the company through video, and so I just started messing around with it, started messing around with YouTube, and I was learning on how to do it and all. I've deleted them since, but some of my first videos were real choppy and it didn't work out well. And then I finally got in, and my daughter taught my 14-year-old daughter at the time. She was 12 years old. She taught me how to do editing and stuff through an app that I use all my videos on there. And and then it just got to the point where it became a habit and something that I enjoyed doing. And then I started getting feedback from people, and then I started getting drivers in the. I'd be in the terminal. Hey, I seen your videos, man. You're the reason I came to the company, and it became an ego thing pretty much. I kind of
What do you
enjoyed the recognition of it.
What do you want people to know about your channel? What do you want people to get out of it?
What I try to tell people about my channel is, when you're looking for a job and you want to drive for a company, most people want to know, what do the drivers think of the company.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? So I try to give them a driver's perspective, and I try to be honest and upfront with them about pretty much anything with the company. I try to give them the inside information. I'm your inside guy.
All right. So I got a question. I got a question for you. Can you make money at Cypress?
Yeah, I try to get the titles that catch somebody's attention, and that particular video there caught a lot of attention. That and the one that says "free, free, free" all the way across my face on the screen.
Okay. So you actually say so.
Actually, in that video, I think I do show some of my actual pay and what I make with this company.
So
up front with it.
It would be a no-brainer that you would actually suggest Cypress Truck Line for anybody that's interested in coming in flatbed.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They've treated me well, and I pretty much back this company 100%. I mean, I enjoy working for this company. They've always taken care of me.
All right. Let's hold on. You know what? Let's go back to your YouTube channel right quick. Again, so you've been at it for 3 years, right? Oops, hold on. Okay, there we go. You've been at it for 3 years. What keeps you motivating? I mean, what keeps you motivating and keep doing it?
It's the feedback that I get, and the fact that when I first started that channel, I think I had 5 subscribers, and then people started coming in, and it started growing, and then every day, I get a new subscriber. I'm like, wow, I mean, I can't believe people are still watching this stuff. Because I don't script anything. If something comes to mind, I go ahead and I say, all right, I'll put that in a video. And then, just whatever. And then I just ramble on, and people sit there for 10, 15 minutes and listen to me ramble on about whatever.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, Kevin, man, thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate you coming on, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I had a good time.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys are interested in Cypress Truck Lines, you can let me see. You can actually go to their website, which is cypresstruck.com. If you want to apply, you can apply straight from the website, or you can give them a call at 800-545-1351. Definitely check out my man Kevin's YouTube page, which is Cypress Truck Lines YouTube guy.
Yep, that was me, the YouTube guy. Like I always tell everybody, if you do check out my channel and you decide to come to Cypress, tell them YouTube guy sent you.
Why Cypress Truck Lines YouTube guy name? Why you chose that name and not something?
It was kind of because every time like I said, when I started the channel, sorry about that. When I started the channel, I'd have drivers come up to me in the yard and go, "Hey, you're the YouTube guy." Because at the time I was just using my first initial and my last name. That was the YouTube channel name. And then, hey, you're the YouTube guy. You're the YouTube guy. So okay, I'll go ahead and take that name and I'll run with it. And it kind of stuck.
Well, I got with so many dangerous places out here, and parking being a main problem for us. We get to a truck stop and it's full as hell, and we probably have to park at a gravel lot or something like that. Since you've been trucking, man, what's some of the worst places that you had to do a 10-hour break in?
Well, some of the customers that we go to sometimes can be pretty scary, but for the most part, I mean, I try to plan my day out. I'm a huge fan of Love's truck stops. I mean, you go to a Love's truck stop anywhere between Texas and Florida, you'll probably see my truck parked in there.
Oh, yeah.
So I always try to park at the Love's. But if I can't get in there, it's either at the customer or at one of our terminals. I mean, I have stayed at way stations before. Those don't bother me so bad, but they got to have restroom facilities there. Now, rest areas, I don't really care for at all. They're just too
Now
busy.
now you know what I forgot to ask you, and it just popped in my head. How often do your dispatcher keeps you loaded? Like I know a flatbed that gets loaded totally different the way from a van guy. So do they like stack you like you know the next load that you're going to after you get empty?
No, we're pretty much, as soon as we get unloaded, they get us our next load. They don't usually tell us. Usually on the weekends they'll stack it. They'll say, okay, you go here, 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 and here. But Monday through Friday, it's usually get it unloaded and then go to the next place, and you'll find out when you get there.
Okay. So you don't sit.
And
In other words.
yeah, and I just talked to our numbers guy in the office, and in the 12 years I've been here, he says my deadhead is at 19%, which means it's the rest of it's all loaded.
Okay, that's
in 19 years. In 12 years, it's only 19% deadhead mileage. So
well,
I mean,
Kevin,
most of the time I'm driving, I'm loaded.
Well, Kevin, before you get up out of here, man, what do you want people to, not just about Cypress Truck Lines, but what advice what advice you want to give to some of the new jacks that's coming into the industry that might be looking for a flatbed job at Cypress?
Some advice I would say, basically, if whatever job you're looking for driving truck, try to find a company that's close to where you live, because if you get a company that's too far from where you live, your home time chances is going to go way down. So the closer the closer their main terminal is to where you live, the better chances you are going to get home. And basically,
that's a good one.
Yeah, and basically, if you're going to get into this whole thing of driving truck, I mean, you got to be committed. It's just that's all there's. Because this will take over pretty much everything in your life. You got to be willing to put it in there. If you come in here thinking this is just a job, you're going to hate it.
I haven't even that. The closer the terminal from your home, that's a good one. I haven't even thought about that, because like when I came into it, U.S. Express, they had a terminal in Ohio. So yeah, I never thought about that. The other one, I would say the other one would be J&R. I say the farthest one will be well, no, I can't say that, because J&R Schwugel was in Ohio. Let me see. U.S. Express was in Ohio. That was Springfield, Ohio. So that was about a couple of hours away from Cleveland. J&R Schwugel was in Columbus, and I'm talking terminals, not the main terminal. Of course, the main terminal was in Chattanooga for U.S. Express, and New Ulm, Minnesota for J&R Schwugel, but their terminals was in Ohio. The next one was Wooster. Wooster was like maybe about 30, 45 minutes away from my house. And then I'd say the farthest one would be Illinois. So yeah, but still, with Illinois, that's only a 5-hour drive. I mean, because I left, I parked the truck, got a rental car, and just drove home. So that's only like a 5-hour drive, and then my current company is back in Ohio. So I never thought about that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of guys that be coming into the industry, they be looking for like trucking companies like Prime, which is all the way in Springfield, Missouri. They coming down from New York, all over the world, and they, sometimes they get stuck. Another thing too, to consider when you come in let's just say you don't like, you and the company don't like each other. They'll tell you to bring the truck back to the main place,
Yep.
and you're gonna have to make your way home.
Yep. Yeah, because once you say you're done, they're not obligated to get you home. That's on you.
Exactly. Now, U.S. Express gave me $50, but
I learned that from the very first company I went with, because I lived in Florida and their company was out of Indiana, and then I was new to the game, and they didn't tell me where they ran, and I didn't ask where they ran. So I'm out there running their truck going, okay, I'm ready to go home. When are you going to get me home? They're like, where you live? I said, Florida. I said, well, whenever we get freight to Florida, you can go home. I said, well, when do you get freight to Florida? They said, we don't hardly ever go to Florida.
Wow.
So they're like, you're out of luck.
Wow. Man, that's crazy. That's why I always say, come with FU money and a credit card. I'm just saying.
Do your research. That's all. That's what I said. Just do your research. I said that's one of the reasons why I got the channel out there. I want you to know, even if you don't come with Cypress, I want you to know, make the right choices when you come into this situation.
Exactly. Kevin, again, man, thank you very much. Give you a round of applause again. Thank you very much, man. You are a citizen. And for everybody else that stepped up in the building today, make sure y'all hit them likes button, because the likes is free. I know a couple of y'all stepped in and stepped out. I understand it's a little late. Some of you guys are asleep. I'm just saying. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. That's going to do it for the Lockoutmen podcast show for the evening. I really appreciate my special guest coming through tonight, chopping it up with us, giving his insight on Cypress Truck Lines. Again, if you guys are interested in Cypress Truck Lines, go to cypresstruck.com and give their recruiter a call. Make sure you check out the Make the Call that I did several months back. Make sure you listen to that conversation that I had with the recruiter and see if they got something for you. All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell and that all button. If anybody wants to, if anybody has any suggestions for any calls that need to be made, let me know in the comments below. All right. You guys take it easy. That is going to do it for us this evening. Y'all take it easy, and I'll come back at you with another one. Peace.
This show, yeah, get it in.